Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm back from sunshiny California and I'm happy to say that I brought a little bit of the sunshine with me to Ohio today. And as soon as I started taping, Coco made some noise over there, so you might see her run around over here. Hey Connie, so I wanted to first of all give everyone an update as to where we are in the cancer process and what are the next steps. So the past month or so has been an extremely emotional time for us, mostly me. I have found that it's a really good day if I don't have at least one moment where I break down in tears. For example, last Thursday I was flying to California and it was a connected flight. Hey Mark, hey John. And I was landing for the first flight and about to get off and then go get my connection, and I started crying on the plane. I was like, Kylene, hold it together. You can at least make it to the bathroom. But I couldn't, and so, you know, I'm trying to like turn away from everybody in the flight. Like, don't look at me, I'm just falling apart. So I have found that it's a really good day if I don't have at least one breakdown. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about today is talking to people that have cancer. It is a very, very, very emotional experience. So you have to remember that you are incredibly disconnected. You might care for them, you might love them, it might be your best friend, it might be a family member. It's not you. And so you don't really understand what they're feeling unless you've been through it. So the next steps that we are taking, we're going to the Cancer Treatment Center of America. We're doing that March 3rd through the 6th. So we are leaving on Sunday, and there are several reasons that we chose to do this, and we haven't chosen to work with them. This is sort of like, give me your opinion and how you would treat this. But several reasons that we chose this. And just so everybody knows, this is a conventional medical treatment hospital. This is covered by insurance. And so if you're thinking because it's like a cancer treatment center that it's like in Mexico or something, it's not, it's in Chicago. So a couple reasons that we chose to try Cancer Treatment Center of America. One, they get things done. So just a quick story, I had a referral to an oncologist, a local oncologist, February 13th. That oncologist never called me. So we had to go through this process where we called them to figure out what was going on, and they were like, hey, we never received the referral. So then I had to call the specialist, and they were like, well, we sent it on the 13th, we'll try to send it again today. And then they were like, you can call today and see if, and this was yesterday, you can call later in the day and see if it's gone through. And I'm like, you were supposed to refer me like over a week ago. Why don't you call to see if it went through this time? So anyways, that's just been a whole long thing. And the reason I didn't follow up sooner than a little bit longer than a week is because I knew that I had the Cancer Treatment Center trip and my California trip, and so I couldn't get with my oncologist till later anyway. But the short story is that the process has been a little frustrating. And when you get in this system, there's a lot of hurry up and wait. So hurry up and make this appointment and then wait. Or get this referral and then wait. And then do this and then wait. And so when you are trying to figure out what's going on, you want to know what stage you're at. You want to know like what the heck people are going to recommend and what the treatment process is going to look like. Waiting is very frustrating because you're just like, I just don't know what's happening. So one of the reasons we chose CTCA is because they get things done like that. So again, it is a conventional treatment center, but they're a little bit more open-minded in terms of like blending or giving nutrition validation, talking to you about the importance of that. They don't fluff that off, which is nice. They talk about supplements and you know, that sort of thing. But then they also make sure that everything happens in a timely manner. So one, they're flying us out there, and this is covered, like I said. So they're flying us out there, they're booking a hotel, they take the stress of even visiting them away by doing this. And then I get the extra testing that I need that I haven't had done, which in my specific case is a PET scan. That's gonna help then determine what stage I'm in. So I haven't gotten the staging yet. So that's going to determine, you know, is it just this one tiny tumor in my neck, or has it spread to other parts of my body? And then once we get that, the next day we're gonna meet with like the whole team. I'll meet any specialist that I need to have communication with, whether it's a hematologist, an oncologist, whatever. I'm going to meet those people within the span of about 2 to 3 days. And the last day that I get there after the PET scan, they're going to give me what they would recommend as a treatment plan. So bing, bang, boom, no more waiting. I'm going to know what they would recommend. Now, we haven't decided to go with them. We want an opinion from them. We want to see. We have a couple other things that we're thinking about, that we're researching. And there's another conventional clinic closer to where we are at OSU that we would possibly want to see if we can connect there and get another opinion as well. Not because I think that they're all going to diagnose me with something different, but because finding a team that you vibe with and you feel comfortable with, especially when you're doing something like this that's so scary and personal, you want to be able to make sure that whoever you're going to be in contact with, if you go this route with treatment, you trust and that they will listen to you and that you can ask questions and be your own advocate and do all these things that are so important, because the mental state throughout this process is absolutely critical. So throughout this process, I've had a lot of people, that's my kind of update as to where we are. So we're going to find out more this weekend. But throughout this process, a lot of people have been super, super kind. We've had overwhelming support, and people have reached out and said they're praying. I have churches like across the country that are praying and prayer groups and all this stuff, and it's super awesome. But there are some things that have come up as well that I kind of wanted to address in terms of like, you going through this process. I kind of learned what feels really nice to me when people reach out and maybe what doesn't feel really nice to me. So the first thing, when you're talking to a cancer patient, don't give unsolicited advice. So number one, don't give unsolicited advice. So especially if this is not your family member or someone that you are very, 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 very close to, they probably don't want to know your opinion, okay? Especially if there's someone like me who does a lot of research. I'm in the health industry. It's my job. I work with people to help them manage chronic disease. So I don't need certain levels of advice just thrown at me, especially if you don't need me. And not a lot of people have done this, but if you watch my Facebook story or my Instagram story today, you'll see a little bit more about what I'm talking about. But that wasn't unsolicited, so we'll get to that. So unsolicited meaning like you're just going to throw something out there and it's going to be like, this is exactly what you should do, you know? Which brings me to number two, which is don't tell them that this is a teaching opportunity or a gift. Okay, so this is what happened to me today, and this is why I'm a little riled up and super annoyed. I did reach out to somebody. She was actually a fellow FDN, which we all have different specialties because you get the FDN certification, but then you want ongoing education. So some people specialize in autoimmunity, some people specialize in detox, some in cancer. All these, you know, you get other degrees, you get other certifications, you read books, you use your own life experience, all these different things, right? So I was reaching out to another FDN because someone had recommended it, and she basically was like, I was interested in alternative treatment because I've been researching, and I'm like, you know, I want to know if there's something out there that I'm not aware of yet. So basically her initial reply was, eat healthy food, like eat like a rabbit. And so first of all, she must not know me very well. So I replied and I was like, well, kind of already do that. And when I got the cancer diagnosis, I upped it, you know, so basically more or less I'm salads, smoothies, juices, low to no meat, as low sugar as I can go, all this kind of stuff. Like I'm already on it is basically what I told her. I'm on the food train. So then she replied with, you'll be fine. And then one or two other sort of therapies that you can incorporate. And then she continued to tell me that cancer is a gift and that it's a teaching moment. And that's where you can look at my story to see exactly what was said. I didn't put her face in it, I didn't put her name in it, but I did post what she said to me because it really annoyed me. Do not talk to somebody that has cancer or any other disease and tell them it is a gift or a learning opportunity. Okay, I am like one of the most positive people in the world, and I've already chosen to look at this like I will come through it. There is a purpose at the end. Maybe I'll know what that is. But nobody needs to be told in the middle of it that it's a gift. That's not how it feels. And just directing a comment like that is unkind and comes across as extremely condescending, especially when it's not prefaced like, hey, I'm really sorry that you're going through this. I understand how difficult it is. In the end, there, you know, especially if you're a believer, if you have faith, you know, I believe there's a purpose for everything. God has a perfect plan. You know, you have to be very careful what you say to people. But being very direct with somebody you don't know like that and saying, you know, hey, this is a gift, this is a teaching opportunity, you'll be fine. You don't know me. And you didn't take any time to get to know me or what I've already tried. So thank you, I reached out, I got the answer, but no thank you. You're absolutely not someone I would ever choose to work with because there's no compassion, there's no relationship in that reply. So that's super annoying, so don't do that. Don't ever try to reframe it for somebody unless you really know them well and are kind and compassionate in the way you do that. So number 3, don't try to tell someone what treatment they should choose, whether it's alternative, conventional, or a combination of the two. And I will get in a moment to like things that you can say, what is appreciated, and ways to approach people, but do not push people to make a decision simply because you think that it's the best decision. This is their body, this is their life, and this is one of the scariest things in the world. They don't know what the next 2, 3, 6, 9, 12 months, or even 2 years look like. There are effects that you can get from conventional treatment that can last years after treatment is done and you are in full remission. You can lose your fertility ability and have to go through a whole other level of emotional processing once the treatment is done. So don't try to push something on someone just because you think that it's the best or the most effective or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going that route. We have not decided yet. But what we don't appreciate is anyone coming and saying, this is the answer. Because we are intelligent. I am intelligent. I can do my own research. I can look at scholarly articles and research articles. And I know what I know, and I do what I do with health and food, and that's the way I live my life, and I help other people with chronic diseases. So this is an extremely, extremely personal decision. So don't try to push someone one way or the other. If they are simply unconscious, that goes for the alternative as well. So if somebody is, you know, like, boom, I'm gonna do chemo, don't tell them, oh, that's toxic, it's gonna kill you. You have to look at alternative treatments. If they are comfortable, look, you have to believe in your treatment, okay? That's half the battle. If you believe in it and you feel like this is going to help me, your mentality has to be on point during something like this, because if you believe that this is gonna make you feel better, it's gonna heal you, it's gonna cure you, I guarantee you there is a higher percentage of a positive reaction to that treatment than if you go into it being like, I don't want to do this, this is going to kill me, this is toxic, you know, whatever. So it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you fall on, don't push your agenda on someone. And number 4, and this is extremely important, do not tell somebody when they are thinking about conventional treatment and they are scared that they're going to lose their hair, do not say, it's just hair. Okay? I told you I was a little riled up. That is an extremely personal thing for a lot of people. And don't say, oh, you can go through fertility treatment and freeze your eggs. The fact that after conventional treatment, you're gonna lose your hair and have to go through this extremely emotionally uncomfortable process of regrowing it and rediscovering who you are and getting healthy and healing your gut, and then wondering if your period will come back after conventional treatment, and if you've had dreams of having babies or you've started planning to have a family and then having that literally ripped away, don't tell somebody that it's okay because now we have the medical capacity that you can freeze your eggs, and even though it's not going to be a traditional treatment, you can still have babies. And don't tell somebody that it's just hair, it will grow back. Because I know that it's just hair. We know that it's just hair. We know we can still use medical treatment to get fertile and all these different things. But it hurts. It is a personal thing that is not only happening to your body, but it's happening to your life. Literally changing the direction and the course of your life. And there are so many survivors out there that are so positive and they're in remission in 3 to 6 to 9 months or whatever it is, and they come back and they live a happy, healthy life and they climb mountains and all these things. We know this. if you are going through this, you know this because they are the people that you're looking up to for support and encouragement, to know that you can even function as a human being through this process because it is so hard. So do not like condescend to people and be like, it's just this, you shouldn't worry so much about it. It's freaking scary, you guys. It's your hair, it's your ovaries, it's your future fertility ability. It can trash your gut. It kills your immune system. Your ability to bounce back, I'm sure, is like this huge high percentage of it depends on like your mentality and your attitude and how healthy you are after to keep yourself in remission and to bounce back and be healthy and happy. But that does not mean that knowing that you can achieve that goal and getting to the end and seeing the rainbow and knowing that it's over there and that the pot of gold is there, that it exists, knowing that it exists does not make the process easier. So that is not encouraging to someone, oh, it's just hair. Don't say those things. So don't push the treatment on them. Don't share your agenda with them. Don't put people down, and don't look at them like they're stupid through this process. Like, you know it's best, but they don't. So you're just gonna tell them what they need to know. So that's the end of my don't, because here's what I wanna do. I wanna reframe a lot of these. Here's what you can say, because there have been so many things that people have said that have been just so incredibly encouraging, that they have really built me up and made me feel like, okay, I can do this. And this is where we need to focus. And look, I know that people that maybe make those other comments, their heart is not in the wrong place. They care, they're trying to help. But if you don't really know someone, if it's not your family member, even if it is your family member, if you don't really know how somebody's gonna take this, then be careful in the words that you use. It is a very, very, very delicate situation. So here's what you can say. The number one thing that you can say to someone with cancer or any other critically scary chronic disease, or really anything that they're going through that's painful in their life, is, what do you need from me? That is extremely powerful. You can simply ask them, what do you need from me? Do you need me to research for you? Do you need me to look at these things? Do you need me to read articles? Do you need me to seek out different medical centers and alternative care centers and send you the links or send you a summary? Do you need me to call people? Do you need me to just hold your hand? Do you need me to just listen and be a sounding board? What do you need from me? That is the number one thing. And thank goodness that I have a husband who asked me that last week. He has been amazing through this whole process, and he literally asked me, I think it was about a week ago, he's like, we're talking back and forth, I'm starting to get frustrated about some things because I'm doing a lot of research on both sides of the coin. I'm trying to figure out what I feel most comfortable with, where I feel safe, where I feel the most hope in terms of success, what I want to do. I feel very torn, by the way. If you haven't got that through this video, I feel very torn between two sides of treatment. And so he simply asked me, what do you need from me? Do you need to just talk it out with me? Do you need me to maybe do some of the research? You know, what do you need? He wanted to like sort of be devil's advocate, and that wasn't working so well. Because, you know, I do a lot of research, and so I'll get excited about something and I'll share it with him, and I don't want somebody at that point to come back and be like, well, but ... And so he got to the point where he said, what do you need from me? He said, look, you're very smart. You can figure this out, and whatever you choose, I will support you and we will make it happen. That is one of the most powerful things you can ask somebody, whether you're a friend, a family member, whatever it is. You just need me to hold your hand. The second thing that you can do for somebody that in a positive way is offer outside of the box ideas to someone. And here's the most important thing, if you have a relationship with them, a good relationship with them, and two parts, you have their permission. Okay? So a lot of people are going to do their own research. Like I said earlier, this is life-changing. This is tremendously scary stuff. So they might be open to a book that says, hey, you have breast cancer, let's get this into remission through food. And here's a ton of testimonials that have done it. And here's a book that I read. Here's an online course that educates on supplements and lifestyle and gives amazing encouragement and testimonials. There might be so many people that are open to that. And trust me, guys, I've looked at all that stuff, okay? So there are a lot of people that are open to that. But don't push that on them if you don't have a relationship with them, and or at the same time, you have not asked their permission. Because if you don't know what the territory is that you're going into, if you don't know what they're looking for, if you don't know like if their mind is already set, if you don't know if they're open to that, it may not come across like we talked about in the first half. It may come across not good, okay? They may not appreciate that. And whenever you come out with something like this, I think this is a big reason people don't share. Like, I'm sharing a lot very publicly, right? I'm sharing every step of the journey. I'm sharing my feelings. I'm crying, you know, on the video. I'm really, truly trying to share what this process is like. And I think this is a big reason why a lot of people, when they get a diagnosis like this, they actually get off of social media. They remove themselves because they don't want the opinions, they don't want the pity, they don't want the random, hey, have you tried, da, 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 da. And they're like, trust me, I've read about that. I've printed all the articles, you know, just didn't decide that was right for me. And maybe they didn't, and like I said, maybe they're open. But do offer those things if you have a developed relationship with them. You know how they're gonna respond to it. Like, you know, this is my best friend, she's really open to it. And or just ask, say, hey, I was thinking about this. I heard some really good stuff. It actually applied to your specific cancer, and it made me think of you. Would you mind if I sent you a link? And if they say sure, then do it. You know, but don't just be sending random links to people trying to be helpful, because I know that you are, and you are trying to be helpful, and that's amazing. But you don't know how they're going to receive it. So just think about that. How would you feel if you are facing the rest of your life? How would you want people to communicate to you? Number 3, the thing that you can do when communicating to someone with cancer or a disease is just simply ask how they're feeling. But be sincere about it. I don't mean like, hey, how you doing? You know, oh, good, I'm great. All right, see you, talk to you later. You know, be sincere. Let them know that you sincerely care about the answer. I had somebody this morning, well, 2 things. I have had a girlfriend texting me through this whole process. She's awesome. Every 2-3 days, I'll get a text, hey, how you doing today? And I know what she means. She really wants to know how I am feeling. And she has also set up the expectation that if I don't want to talk about something, it's not required. And so we've gotten together in real life. She's texted me back and forth. I'll share some of the you know, revelations that I've had during research that have been incredibly discouraging or scary, or some of the exciting stuff, where I'm at, what I'm doing. And she'll simply just shoot out a text. Hey, how you doing today? How are you feeling today? How's it going? What's, you know? And then this morning I had somebody, hey, how are you doing? And then, you know, I said, oh, I'm doing okay. And she goes, no. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you actually doing? And so if you approach somebody in that manner, you say, hey, I really care. I'm not just saying, hey, how you doing? The weather's great, blah, blah, blah. I want to be a sounding board for you. Maybe it's because you've personally been through something. But if you haven't, this is a great way to approach somebody. Just how are you feeling? And I want you to know that you don't have to talk about it if you're tired of talking about it. Because they'll have those days too. They'll be like, I'm literally, if I talk about it right now, I will burst into tears. So let's not talk about it right now, but ask me again tomorrow. So just know that that's emotionally where these people can be, and offer that support. I really, truly want to know where you're feeling, because I really want to offer support back. And just be on their side, you guys. If they're frustrated about something, validate that. You know, if they're sad or depressed about something, validate that. Don't try to say, you know, because here's the thing. If they're going through something like this, like, I'll just be flat out honest. There have been moments in the past month where I was like, oh my gosh, am I slipping into like a deep depression? Because I've been so teary-eyed so much. And it's like the smallest thing that normally would not affect me makes me a puddle of tears. And I'm like, I don't know really what's happening. Why am I so emotionally sensitive? You know, it's not necessarily that I got more news or something's triggered it. It just makes me sad. And I've had so many people that just say to me, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to feel like that. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to let it out. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to ask, you know, why is this happening? It's okay to be positive the next second, you know? It's okay to totally fall apart And then the next day be like, I've got this, I can do this, because that's just the process. And everybody's process is going to be different. So simply asking, how are you feeling today? That can be an incredibly powerful encouragement. And again, make sure you have a relationship with this person. Make sure you've developed a friendship with this person. And especially if you're going to get into any sort of depth or detail or anything like that. But ask them how they're feeling. That's been a tremendous encouragement to me. And then the number 4 thing you can do is share a personally encouraging story. So, or a resource or a website or something like that. But again, if you have a relationship and you think that they'd be receptive and it's something that is really applicable to their situation. So for example, I've had people reach out that have said, hey, I have a cousin that had Hodgkin's lymphoma, specific, same same cancer that I have. I have a cousin that had this. I just want you to know she's been in remission for 9 years. She's feeling great. Hey, if you want me to connect you, awesome. That's great. That's perfect. There's no pressure there. There's no, unintended, pushing one way or the other. There's no discomfort there. It's just simply a kind, encouraging thing to say. And if you have a resource, again, just present it like, hey, would you be open to this? I saw this. And tell them how it's applicable to them. Hey, I saw this about your specific cancer, or my uncle had ... and he took ... I thought it might be something you're interested in. But let me put another caveat in here. If it's a product that you sell, just don't even try, okay? So if it's like something MLM, like don't put a product link there and don't push it. If you truly think that it's going to be something that they're A, unaware of already, like they truly didn't know this thing existed, and B, really legitimately can help them, then ask them if it's okay to send them more information. But make sure it's under the guise of like, there's literally no pressure here. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. So-and-so used this and this was the result, and my heart goes out to you and I really wanted to help you. That's so different than, hey, have you heard about ... and it can help you because blah, 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 and here's my link that goes to my direct sales page. No. Okay? Especially if it is somebody that, does similar things to what I do, where I'm incredibly into nutrition, supplementation, detox, lifestyle. Don't try to send me like a supplement recommendation, okay? Unless it's something you think that I would be, don't tell me about like a greens powder, for example. If there's like a supplement that's been researched in cancer that's been shown to minimize tumors and you think maybe I don't know about it, something like that would be awesome. But tell me ahead of time, be like, hey, do you have have you heard about this? I just thought about you, whatever. But don't take your personal bias out of it, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. The most encouraging things that have been said to me through this process is, what do you need from me? How can I approach the situation in a way that will be emotionally helpful to you? And how are you feeling? Because the first one gives support. True, real, honest support, where I know that person, when you approach it that way, they're not going to push me. And the second one is someone that's going to let me vent and let me be sad and let me be mad and let me be happy. And they're not going to judge me for it. So I feel like those are, at least in my personal experience from the past month of having to deal with this and being what I consider walking an emotional tightrope walk every single day, those are the most encouraging ways that you can approach someone. But please, regardless of whether you think you have the answer or not, don't go like, telling people what to do. Don't push your agenda. Be careful about the words that you use. Make sure, reread, triple read, quadruple read. If you're going to send somebody a text, an email, a Facebook message, whatever it is, don't tell them that their disease is a gift, and don't tell them that it's, a teaching moment or whatever it was that she said to me. I understand reframing, and if you're really, really close to this person, you can maybe help them with that. But the other part of this is just to have the connection. Make sure that you're friends. Make sure that they're open. And make sure that if they don't want to talk about it, they don't have to talk about it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope that was helpful. I know I did not understand a lot of this until I went through it as well. So I want to make sure you know that I'm not judging anybody. I don't think anybody has, said things that are, I don't think anybody's done anything out of negative feelings. Right? I think they're in the right place. I think their heart's in the right place. Everybody wants to help, right? But there are some ways that it's just a little more helpful than others. So I hope that's encouraging to you. The next time you run into a friend or family member that's dealing with something difficult, just ask them, how are you feeling? And what do you need from me today? All right, have a great sunshiny day, you guys, and I will talk to you soon.